Hari Om. Let us invoke today in the words of Mallinatha, how he pays a very glowing tribute to Kalidasa in his Sanjeevani Tika on Raghuvamsha. Okay? And he says, Kalidasa Giram Saram, the essence of Kalidasa's speech, Kalidasa Giram Saram, Kalidasaha Saraswati Chaturmukhaha Athava Sakshat Viduhu Nanyetu Madrisha Janaha. A person like Mallinatha, who has commented on almost all the classical Sanskrit literature, the dramas and the poems, a person like him, he is saying that the essence of Kalidasa's speech, Kalidasa's words, could be known, could be understood either by Saraswati or Kalidasa himself or Chaturmukha Brahma, Nanye tu Madrisha Janaha. If Mallinatha is so humble, what to talk of me, right? So we are just attempting to get the Rasaswada of Kalidasa's words in our own way. We know perhaps that we are not too adequate, too sufficient to grasp in entirety what Kalidasa really means. Okay? So this is a glowing tribute by Mallinatha. In the last lecture, we just saw about the generalities, and what is Kalidasa, who was Kalidasa, what are his works. There are 7 very shining works of Kalidasa, 3 dramas, 2 Khandakavyas and 2 Mahakavyas. Scholars have shortlisted these 7. Still some feel that even this Ritusamhara may not be by Kalidasa. But then when we talked about Kalidasa's Khandakavyas, I think I have refuted that in my own way. We have so many phraseological similarities between Ritusamhara and other works of Kalidasa. So we can prove, unanimously and without any doubt that Ritusamhara is also penned by Kalidasa. So now coming to Malavikagnimitram, what is this story? If there are any sources, what are the sources? And how he has developed this as a drama. Of course, Nirankushaha Kavayaha. The Kavis are always Nirankusha. They have free license to develop the plot the way they like. But sometimes, according to Bharata's Natya Shastra, if the Vastu, the plot is known to the people, they can relate to that. And therefore, Prakhyata Vastu is almost by all the dramatists, it has been adopted as the plot of their dramas. Either it could be mythological or the epic from Ramayana, Purana, Mahabharata, etc. or from history. So, when we come to Malavikagnimitram, last lecture we just briefly saw that, Agnimitra belongs to the Shunga dynasty. His father, Pushyamitra, Kalidasa mentions him as Pushpamitra throughout his drama. Only in the 5th act the reference comes, but he refers to him as Pushpamitra. But the history books refer to him as Pushyamitra. He was the general, commander-in-chief, Senapati of the last Maurya king, Brihadratha. And because Brihadratha was very inactive and not at all, caring for his subjects, his people, he took over. Pushyamitra got Brihadratha killed and established his own reign, and Shunga dynasty started from there on. It is somewhere in the 2nd BCE, 2nd century before the Common Era, 185 BC or something like that. And we also saw that, in Patanjali, in his Mahabhashya, he also endorses this by saying, Iha khalu Pushyamitram yajayamaha. Here we shall make Pushyamitra perform a horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha. Interestingly, in the Malavikagnimitram, in the 5th act, we have a reference to the Ashwamedha sacrifice, which is called Rajayadnya, not Rajasuya. Rajasuya is different, Ashwamedha is different. In the Rajasuya, it is only sovereignty which is established, but in the Ashwamedha, the horse is let loose for 1 year you know, to have that mohar of sovereignty, you know, and whosoever, you know, holds that horse, he has to either fight the king and get defeated, or you just, you know, give some dakshina and become the feudatory king of the sovereign king. But it is the best and the king of all the sacrifices, and therefore Ashwamedha is called Raja Yajna, not to be, you know, misconceived as Rajasuya. So here in the 5th act of Malavika Agnimitram, we have a reference that Pushyamitra has performed Ashwamedha sacrifice. The Ashwa was let loose, and that Ashwa was, you know, on the banks of the Sindhu river. It was prevented from going further by the Yavanas, and Agnimitra's 16-year-old brave young son Vasumitra fought against the Yavanas, defeated them, and this is how the Ashwamedha got accomplished. So these references are there, and therefore we have a firm grounding that this is a historical play. Of course, the characters have been derived from history, but the plot entirely, the development of the plot is by Kalidasa's Pratibha. Maybe the Agnimitra is a historical name, Pushyamitra, Vasumitra, of course, yes. Dharini and Iravati, Agnimitra has already 2 wives. The Jeshta Mahishi is Dharini, the younger queen of Agnimitra is Iravati, and now he has fallen in love with a young maiden called Malavika. Now, how could Agnimitra, you know, who has a 16-year-old son, you know, who could fight against the Yavanas, still has this romanticism in his nature? This is attributed to the royal, kingly families in ancient India who ruled, you know, and they could marry the girl of their son's age as well. If you remember in the Mahabharata, in the Virata Parva exactly to speak of, so when King Virata got to know about Arjuna and the Pandavas' identity, and Arjuna in the form of Brihannala was teaching Uttara the dance, you know, he offered Uttara to Arjuna. Uttara was so young, and then it was Arjuna magnanimous enough to say, I will accept her not as my Vadhu, but Putra Vadhu, and therefore Uttara got married to Abhimanyu. So, you know, this was very common practice, so we should not question it in today's scenario, okay? So that is a disclaimer, first of all, put forward by all the Sanskrit dramatists and me also while explaining this. Now this, there is a political background also for this, and that political background, you know, helps us to determine the characteristics and the qualities and the type of the hero. We normally say that the heroes, the Nayaka, the Neta is of 4 types. One is Dhiro Datta, like Sri Ramachandra in Uttara Ramacharita or Mahavira Charita, Dushyanta in Abhijnana Shakuntala. Then Dhira Lalita, all the Udayana plays, basically the Swapnavasavadattam, Charudattam, Pratidnya Yogandharayana. Udayana plays, Udayana is portrayed as Dhira Lalita. I personally feel some of the commentators, they say that Agnimitra is a Dhiro, Datta hero, because there is a reference of his fight with Yajnasena and how he wins over him, and there is some diplomatic strategy also which is implemented by him, his good governance and all that. But still, you know, a person falling in love with a girl of almost of his son's age, I feel it is more Lalitya in his Swabhava. So he is Dhira Lalita. The third type is Dhiro Dhata, Dhira, straightforward, and Uddhata, very arrogant. And that could be Bhimasena in Veni Samhara, right? Dhiro Dhata. And Dhira Shanta is the 4th category. Dhira Shanta is someone like Charudatta in Daridra Charudatta or Mrichakatika or Jimuta Vahana in Nagananda, the drama written by Sri Harsha. So very few examples of Dhira Shanta and Dhiroddhata. Mostly the drama, you know, they portray the hero as either Dhiro Datta or Dhira Lalita. Then the Nayika we briefly saw, it could be Sviya, the one's own wedded wife, like Sita in Uttara Ramacharita. Okay? Or it could be Parakiya or Anya. Parakiya, she belongs to her father, and therefore Malavika, she is not yet married to Agnimitra. So she could be Parakiya. Shakuntala, still in the Kanavashrama, is Parakiya. Normally all these heroines, which are not in the wedlock, not tied in the wedlock, till then they are Parakiya. So as a heroine, she is Parakiya. And the third category of Nayika is Sadharana Stri, that is the Veshavanita, the Ganika, Vasantasena in Mrichakatika. Okay? So these are the types of the heroes and the types of the heroines, the Nayika. Now when we come to the this historical part of this, so this was the part, which like Ashwamedha Yajna, sacrifice Ashwamedha Yajna was performed by Pushyamitra. The reference is in Patanjali, the reference is here, they endorse it. So that is one point. Then again, the Yajnasena and Madhavasena, there are two kings referred to. Agnimitra belongs to Vidisha. Basically, if you see the ancient geography, and the Maurya kings, they ruled from Pataliputra. In ancient India, Pataliputra was the capital of the Maurya king, Chandragupta Maurya and all others. So naturally, when Pushyamitra took over from the last Maurya king, the capital must have been Pataliputra, right? Capital must have been Pataliputra. But here we have throughout this drama, Agnimitra being referred to as Vidisheshwara. He is the king of Vidisha. Maybe there is some difference of opinion between the father and the son. We go back into the history. There are references in ancient Indian history that Pushyamitra was a staunch Hindu. Very assertively he was propagating Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma, and while doing that, he got prosecuted some of the Buddhist thinkers or some of the Buddhist monks. He was against Buddhism. Perhaps Agnimitra was very liberal in his thoughts, in his deeds and actions. He was not against Buddhism. And how we come to know of that? We have a character called Kaushiki. She is a Parivrajika, a Buddhist nun. And she is patronized by Queen Dharini, and she is highly respected by the entire royal family, including the king himself. So he has that sort of reverence for Buddhism. Because of this point, perhaps, these are conjectures. History tells us that Pushyamitra was against Buddhism, and Buddhism did not stand in Pataliputra when Shunga dynasty was ruling. And perhaps because of that he differed from his father in many opinions, and perhaps he formed his own kingdom in Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh. That is one thing. The boundaries of Agnimitra's king are to the Sindhu, because Vasumitra has defeated the Yavanas in the north, right? In the northwest, still Sindhu river, until Narmada in the south, and another river is named as Varada. That Varada is Vardha in Maharashtra. Varada is the river Vardha in Maharashtra. So this is the boundary for, from Sindhu to Vardha in Maharashtra. And naturally, when he is ruling from Vidisha, it is closer to Maharashtra than it is closer to Pataliputra, which is to the eastern side. See the geography, right? And perhaps therefore, Agnimitra ruled from Vidisha, because in the 5th act we have references, Pushyamitra sending a message to King Agnimitra that the Ashwamedha Yajna is being accomplished now. Your son has bravely defeated the Yavanas, so you should all come for this sacrifice, the end of the Samaroha of this Ashwamedha. That means Pushyamitra was there in Pataliputra, and perhaps Agnimitra ruled from Vidisha. So these are all the historical details which we find. We have the Vidarbha king Yajnasena and Madhavasena. I mentioned about two brothers. They were the cousins and ruling in from Vidarbha, again in Maharashtra. The thing is, Madhavasena has a younger sister called Malavika. Madhavasena's younger sister is called Malavika, and he wants her to get married to Agnimitra because he was the most popular king then, very brave king, because his boundary is extended till Maharashtra, till Varda, right? And therefore he wanted her to get married to Agnimitra. So she is already betrothed, so to say, to King Agnimitra, and he is on his way. Along with his minister, he is on his way from Vidarbha to Vidisha, okay? Who? Madhavasena. But then in between that Yajnasena, his cousin brother, he wanted the entire kingdom. And therefore, he attacked Madhavasena. Madhavasena got, he ran away from the field. He did not have enough forces to fight. And then he was accompanied by Sumati, his minister, and that minister's sister is Gautami Parivrajika. Too many complications. At the end of the drama, all these threads are joined, all the dots are joined. But in between, while we are reading, we don't know. I must tell you the storyline so that it makes sense and a very coherent reading for you when you read it for yourself. Okay? So this Sumati got killed in the fight. And that fight was not against Yajnasena. They were hiding, and secretly coming through the forest roads, and some Dasyus attacked them. And in that fight, Sumati got killed, and Gautami and Malavika, they got separated. In that skirmish, they got separated. Gautami was very, upset where to find the Rajakanya, Malavika, but she was helpless. She could not find her. And because they were going towards Vidisha to meet Agnimitra, she thought it is wiser to come to Vidisha than go somewhere else. And therefore she headed towards Vidisha. And to save herself, for her security, she adorned the robe of a Parivrajika, a nun. So when she came to the court of Agnimitra handed her over to Queen Dharini, and that is how Parivrajika is already there. Now what happened to Malavika? Malavika is lost. Lost means they are separated, right, in that fight. And Malavika was caught hold. These Dasyus were later on defeated by the Veerasena, who happens to be Dharini's brother and who happens to be the Senapati of King Agnimitra. It is his responsibility to protect the borders and all, right? And therefore, he rescued Malavika from those Dasyus, from those attackers. And then he saw that she is very, fond of performing arts, music and dance. And therefore, he knew that his sister Dharini has already employed a dance master called Ganadasa under her patronage. So he thought, this girl, young girl, she should not fall in the hands of anybody, right? It is my duty as a King Senapati to protect her. And therefore, he gifted her to Dharini. Please groom her, please mentor her. She is very good at performing arts. That is how Malavika comes to Dharini. When Malavika comes to Dharini, Gautami sees her, but she doesn't reveal the identity. She doesn't reveal the identity that she knows Malavika, and she doesn't reveal her identity as a Rajakanya of Vidarbha. She keeps quiet because there is a thread woven by Kalidasa. He says that when Malavika was young, there was some foretelling for her. An astronomer had predicted, there was a prediction that she will have to serve for 1 year as dasya, in dasya. She will have to serve somebody, and then she will be able to marry the groom of her own choice. Okay, she will be married to a very good person. She will settle down happily, but 1 year of her life she has to serve as a dasi. So she thought this is a good occasion. She is in safe hands. She is, in a safe custody now, protected by Queen Dharini, and therefore let her serve here as a dasi of Dharini. What wrong is there? Anyhow, even if she is married to Agnimitra, she will be the youngest queen of Agnimitra, and as the youngest queen, she will have to respect the most elderly queen, that is Dharini, who is a Mahishi, right? Kings had many queens, right? Till Maratha Empire, we have even the Peshwas, we had many, all the rulers had many wives. Bahuvallabhaha rajanaha iti shruyate. This is a sentence from Abhijnana Shakuntalam. Bahuvallabhaha rajanaha. The kings always have many wives, So this is how Malavika comes to this place. Now what happens once, Dharini gets a picture drawn by the royal artist along with all her maid servants, along with her paraphernalia. Okay, so Dharini is seated in between, and all around her are standing her dasis, her maid servants. So while that picture is ready, she is just looking that picture, and Agnimitra comes from behind. Agnimitra just happens to enter Dharini's palace, and he also happens to see. He knows now by this time all the maid servants, but his attention is caught by that new face, very beautiful face, Malavika. He inquires, who is she? Dharini gets alert. Oh, I should not, have Malavika seen by King Agnimitra, because that will be for me only. She will become my co-wife then. Okay? So, fearing that, she takes utmost care that Malavika should not be seen by Agnimitra in any circumstance. See how dramatization is built, how very dramatic the incidents are. And now the king has already seen her, and she is such an enchanting beauty. Naturally, he is drawn towards her. But how to see her in person? So he takes help of his Kama Tantra Sachiva, that is the Vidushaka. Gautama, his name is Gautama. So he tells him, Dost, kuch to karo yaar. I want to see this girl. She is so beautiful. I want to see her. He says, okay, sochta hu, kuch sochta hu. He is who? The Vidushaka is the minister for external affairs of the king. External affairs. Okay? So he says, okay, let me do something. He is very, sharp. And then he says, yes, I have an idea. What does he do? There is already Ganadasa, I mentioned just now, who is patronized by Queen Dharini as a dance master. And under his tutelage, Malavika is being trained. Okay? That is happening side by side. Iravati, the younger queen, she is also a dancer. And she has her own master, her own coach called Haradatta. Okay? She has her own coach, her master. Now what this Vidushaka does is, Vidushaka goes to Ganadasa and tells him, Haradatta boasts that he is the best dance master. Do you know that? He said, no, he is saying that nobody is there, as good as me, a dance master, and I am the best. So, there is, what you can say, the seed of dissatisfaction, the seed of competition is sown by Vidushaka. Then he comes to Haradatta and tells him the same thing, that Ganadasa is boasting that he is the best teacher, the dance teacher, and after Bharata it is only he, you are nobody. And then they said, okay, let us have a competition. Both of them come to the court of the king. Both of them come to the court of the king, and they say that we want to prove our mettle, our credentials. So king says, okay, I mean, if you want to do that, it is okay. We will see your performances and then decide. Then that Gautami Parivrajika says, we should not judge anybody, the teacher, from the teacher's performance. We should judge the best teacher from the performance of his students. Right? You remember the story of Kalidasa which I told? If the students are good enough, then the teacher must be better. All the students, the Kalidasa was a Mauni Baba when he was brought to the court, and all other different disciples, they gave answers. And then the Rajakanya, that Vidyottama thought, if the students are so good, the teacher must be very good. So the best thing is to judge the student's performance. By that, the student will be performing and king will have an opportunity to see. Dharini tried to stop that, nip it in the bud. But she was unsuccessful because this Gautami Parivrajika said, no, this is the right way, that from the student's performance only we can judge the best teacher. This is how the first act ends, and the second act, there is the Malavika's dance performance. This is a Charchari Vritta and Sharmishtayaha Padam. She is singing and she is dancing. And, Kalidasa has given a very picturesque portrayal of Malavika. We will see those verses also. So Agnimitra happens to see her. Now, he says the Chitrakara, the artist, has not done full justice to the picture. She is more beautiful than she is drawn in the picture. Malavika is more beautiful. And looking at her in person, naturally. And now after Malavika's performance, the day ends. Nobody is interested in seeing Iravati's performance, right? Nobody is interested. And then the Vidushaka says, oh, Bhojana Vela Anatikramaniya. This is the Madhyana Bhojana Samaya. We should go. And then the result is only given that Malavika is the good. That comes obviously. She is the heroine. She has to win. Right? The very pithy sentences are here. Like Gautama says to the king, Pashyamo Urabhra Sampatam. Two bulls will be fighting. Let us watch the bullfight. As there is a cockfight, as there is a bullfight, people enjoy. They are fighting and losing or winning, but the people around, they enjoy. Is it not? So let us enjoy Urabhra Sampatam, And this is in that background, Kalidasa has given, though this is the very first drama of Kalidasa, here and there are strewn very nice Arthantaranyasa Alankaras, very beautiful generalizations, how an ideal teacher should be. So in the first act, a very beautiful verse comes. I am tempted to tell it here. We'll see it later word by word. Hishta kriya kasya chidatma samstha sankranti ranyasya vishesha yukta yasya ubhayam sadhu sa shikshakanam dhuri pratishtha paitavya. There are some teachers who are very well versed. They are knowledgeable. They have lot of knowledge. That is one category. But they can't impart their knowledge to the best optimum use, They can't do it full justice to the impartation of knowledge. There are, on the other hand, some teachers who are, who have a knack of teaching, but they themselves perhaps lack that scholarship, that knowledge. So they may be little less knowledgeable, but they are very good communicators. So the students love them because they are very good teachers. And then Kalidasa said, these are the two categories, right? One is knowledgeable person, but not able to teach, not able to communicate. There is another category, very ably communicate, but not so talented. Yasya ubhayam sadhu. The teacher who has both this, who has knowledge plus the impartation skill, the skill of teaching, Yasya ubhayam sadhu sa shikshakanam dhuri pratishthapayitavyev. He should be placed at the helm of all the teachers. He is the ideal teacher. Is it not the same definition even now? Even now we admire and adore such teachers who themselves are knowledgeable and they know how best to reach out to their students with whatever they have, right? So, yasya ubhayam sadhu. So, this is how the Malavika's performance was seen by Agnimitra. And now Agnimitra has seen Malavika, he is madly in love with her, and the Kriti which Malavika has presented, she knows that she is being engaged to Agnimitra. She is going to marry Agnimitra, right? For her, expressing her love for Agnimitra, it is genuine because she is betrothed already to Agnimitra. And therefore she says that, how will I live without you, oh my Prananatha? Something like that, that shloka is there. And he feels, oh, she is also in love with me. But then I have to get it confirmed, like Dvirbaddham Subaddham Bhavati or Sthuna Nikhanananyayena. So once it happens that, that Dharini has in her Pramadavana a garden made especially for the royal people, for the ladies and all with swings and creepers and trees, there is a favorite tree of Queen Dharini which is Tapaniya Ashoka tree. And Tapaniya Ashoka because all the foliage is golden in color, like Tapaniya, like it's glowing in the sun rays, so Tapaniya Ashoka, but it hasn't put forth blossoms. That is her worry. And according to the Kavi Sanketa, the poetic conventions, if a beautiful girl, beautiful lady kicks gently, not a football kick, kicks the trunk of the tree with her foot, the foot will, her feet will be like decorated with red dye, alaktaka, and with nupura and all, it is all adorned. And gently she kicks, Ashoka puts forth blossoms. This is a very unique concept in Sanskrit literature. Not only the human beings, the ladies have the dohada, some longings in their pregnancy, but the nature around us also has some longings. There is a beautiful verse when we come to that, Ashoka's Dohada Purana, I will recite that shloka as well. So Ashoka blossoms when it puts forth, when it is kicked by a beautiful girl. So Dharini's feet are injured because she had fall from the swing and therefore she can't kick. It is her own tree, her beloved tree, but she can't kick it. So she deputes Malavika to do that. Bakulavalika is her friend. She decorates her, and they are both sitting there and they are in the ritual of doing that. And King and Vidushaka come just strolling in the Pramadavana. They happen to see. And then there is, mutual talk. And Agnimitra expresses his love and Malavika also expresses her love. In between what happens, Iravati comes there with her Sakhi Nipunika. Now there is a problem. Iravati sees Agnimitra exchanging, the love talks, secret love with Malavika, and she gets very enraged. She goes and complains to Dharini. What is this? Your maid servant is making love to our king. Dharini, to please Iravati, puts Bakulavalika and Malavika both in the cell, in the jail, and deputes one maid servant there saying, unless you see the Anguliyaka of my mudra on that, nobody should be allowed to enter this jail, or they should not be relieved, they should not be brought out unless you see my Anguliyaka, my ring, okay? So now they are put in jail. What to do? Again Vidushaka comes to help. Who? Agnimitra cannot do anything because he doesn't want to displease both his wives. He is, what is it is said, Baimbikanam idam vratam. He is a gallant king. He is a passionate king. but he is filled with Stri Dakshinya. He is very courteous to his wives. He doesn't want to displease them. He doesn't want to hurt them by words or by deeds, and therefore he takes again help of Vidushaka. Again a beautiful drama by Vidushaka. Kalidasa has interwoven this in a very nice manner. Again there is a drama. He says, he tells the king, you please go to inquire about Dharini's health. She had a fall, from the swing and all that. So you please go, I will do something, don't worry. I will come in the court with my own device, my own plan and my own enactment. And then the king, they don't go together, okay? Otherwise, anybody might be suspicious of their plans. So Agnimitra comes alone to inquire about Dharini. And after some time, Vidushaka comes there. Oh, main to mar gaya, mara gaya, I'm dead now. I'm bye. Whatever wrong I have done, please forgive me. Oh, queen. Queen is asking, oh, what happened to you? Oh, Brahmana, what happened? And then he says, I was coming to see you because you are not well. And Riktapanirna gaccheta rajanam devatam gurum. There's a Dharma Shastra rule. You should never go empty-handed while seeing your Guru, Raja or Devata, right? So, because I was coming to you, I thought I'll pluck some flowers, make a nice bouquet and offer it to you, So, while doing that, while plucking the flowers, Kala Sarpena Aham Dashtaha. I was bitten by a very Zeharila Saap, a very poisonous snake. And he has done a mark of Ketaki Kantaka, the thorn of Ketaki Pushpa on his Angushta. And comes, like holding that, and oh no, now that Visha is going on in my body. And Vishavegam Nirupayan, as if he has got that Visha spreading all over his body. You must appreciate the skill of the acting of this Vidushaka. So whosoever is playing the part of Vidushaka must be a skilled artist to show you all that. And queen is really so afraid. Oh, Brahmahatya Pataka. If the Brahmana dies, he has gone there for me. So I will get the Pataka. Somehow he should be cured. What to do? The king says, we have our Dhruva Siddhi, the royal physician, Oh, Jayasena, the chamberlain, please go and ask Dhruva Siddhi what is to be done. The Jayasena goes. It's all a mock thing. Nobody goes nowhere. So Dhruva Siddhi, and then she comes back saying, oh, Dhruva Siddhi has said that Visha, there is an antidote for Visha. And what is that antidote? You have to do some ritual, some Udakumbha, and for that I need a mudra of Naga on it. Okay. Now that Naga mudra is there in queen's finger, her ring, right? And therefore, what to do now? Without hesitation, king just looks here and there, oh, what to do now? As if he doesn't know that queen is having that ring, which is having that Naga mudra. So queen immediately takes that ring out and gives it to him and just prays, oh, he should be cured, otherwise I will be having that Brahmahatya Pataka on my head. And then that Jayasena goes. After a while she comes back saying that, yes, Vidushaka, the Gautama, is relieved of his Visha and he is cured now. So everybody, they heave sigh of relief and everything is okay. Now because he has got the ring, Vidushaka and Agnimitra both go to the jail, Samudragriha, where Malavika and Bakulavalika are kept in captivation. So they go there, they show this ring, and that lady asks why they are to be released. You have shown me the ring. And then he says, no, the king, there is a custom again. This is also, Kalidasa never deviates from the then prevalent customs and practices in the society. The custom and the practice was that whenever the king had some good news or whenever the king felt like on certain occasions, he would free all the Bandi Jana in his capital, in his kingdom. All the Bandi Janas will be let loose in the Putra Janmotsava or some occasion like Diwali, Holi, something like that. Okay. So there will be, the Bandi Janas will be like freed. And so he says Agnimitra has ordered, and because he did not have this, so he had this queen, the queen's ring for this, and the queen is not releasing, it is Agnimitra who is releasing, because the queen has kept them in jail to please her younger co-wife Iravati, right? And therefore it is not Dharini who is doing it, but it is Agnimitra who is doing it. So Dharini is saved from Iravati's rebukes, right? So all that care has been taken. I mean, no loose thread left by Kalidasa. In fact, it is said that whatever in the Dasharupaka or in the Natya Shastra we have, like Bija, Bindu, Pataka, Prakari, and the Pancha Avasthas like Arambha, etc., and the Pancha Sandhis, Mukha Sandhi, Pratimukha Sandhi, Garbha Sandhi, Vimarsha Sandhi, all these are strictly followed by Kalidasa. So nowhere there is any loose thread, no point is left out, no bindu is left out by him. And then they are released, and then king goes inside, and Malavika and king are in the Ekanta, and there again comes Iravati. Because Nipunika, while passing by that jail, that Samudra Griha, she happened to see the crooked stick of Gautama lying there. Gautama always carries that stick, like this he will walk. He will never walk straight. So there is a crooked stick, Vakra Yashtika. So she is wondering, she is also very faithful to her mistress, her queen. So she sees that and she immediately goes and reports it. Wherever there is Vidushaka, Agnimitra will be there, right? And what are they doing at Samudra Griha, where these two ladies are in captive? Kuch to dal mein kala hai, right? And therefore she goes and reports it to Iravati. Iravati and Nipunika come there. Now Vidushaka is on a guard, apparently, okay, outside the Samudra Griha. But he just sleeps. Whenever he is on guard, the guard should be awake and alert, but he just goes to sleep. And in the dream, he is blah blah something. And what is that blah blah? He says, "Oh Malavika, you have to prove yourself superior even to Queen Iravati. You have to surpass her. You have to be the beloved of King Agnimitra." Now pakka ho gaya. There was something, kuch to dal mein kala hai, but now Vidushaka is saying this, and therefore she gets very angry. Naturally she gets, because nobody knows that Malavika is a princess. Everybody feels that she is just a maid servant, and how could she dare even, to get hold of their Swami. So everybody is upset with her. If it were another princess, another like a royal family person, then Bahuvallabha Rajanaha, Agnimitra could marry as many girls as he wanted, as long as they are from the royal family, but not with the maid servant, right? So now she again gets angry, but then again that is saved, It's an Anavastha Prasanga for the king. Caught red-handed. What to do? He can't even excuse himself. Caught red-handed. Koi bahana bhi nahi bana sakta hai. Then there comes a Pingala Vanara, in the Pramadavana, there Vanara, some Vanara came, and king has a daughter, small young daughter called Vasulakshmi. The son is Vasumitra, the daughter is Vasulakshmi. She is frightened by the monkey because the monkey attacked her and she fell unconscious. So everybody, panic. And in that panic, the king being caught red-handed is all sorted out. So then Vidushaka and Agnimitra say, "Oh Pingala Vanara, you only saved us from this trouble today." Okay. So there ends the fourth act. And then the last, I will come up to the last thing now. See, the thing is, the Tapaniya Ashoka puts forth blossom within 5 nights. The queen had promised Malavika, if the Tapaniya Ashoka blossoms within 5 nights, I will do what you wish me to do. Okay, what you want me to do, I will do. And the queen knew that Madhavika is in love with Agnimitra. So she is true to her words. Okay, and there comes a good news. Oh, Tapani Ashoka has put forth blossoms. Then Bakulavalika tells Madhavika that don't worry, queen is Satya Sankalpa and Satya Mantra. So whatever she has promised, she will do it. And the queen has already ordered for the Vaivahika Vesha for Malavika. She wants to please her husband. She wants to fulfill her promise given to Malavika. So she has asked for the Vaivahika Vesha. Now in the meanwhile, what happened? That political drama, right? You remember that political drama? Yajnasena, Madhavasena, and an entire troop is on the way to Vidisha, and in the meanwhile they got separated, they got lost, and they came separately to Queen Dharini. Now the entire troop with two maid servants of Malavika, they all come there, and they all come with Madhavasena. Madhavasena also is there. And then these two girls, when they see Malavika, they say, Aye Bhattini, Aye Rajadarika. Oh, here is our princess. And then everybody asks, is she a princess? Who is she? Then everything becomes clear. She also recognizes her own people, from Vidarbha. She also recognizes the two maid girls, and the maid girls call her as Rajadarika, her princess. Then it is revealed that Madhavasena had already wanted his sister Malavika to be married to Agnimitra. They were all coming here. In the meanwhile, all these things happened. All the time was taken, and in that time, there were too many dramas here and too many doubts and quarrels and strifes and whatnot. But that gave an opportunity to Kalidasa to build what you can say flawless drama without any hole in it, without any lacuna in it, such a plot development. Now this plot development is his imagination. Only the characters are historical, all the rest is built by Kalidasa. The end is of course very good, and Bhartrudarika, this Rajadarika is recognized, and then Kaushiki has changed her attire. She is in the vesha of a nun, but hearing her voice, the maid servants recognize her as Arya Gautami, and then she says, yes, I am Arya Gautami, and I knew. Then Dharini said, why did you keep quiet for all this? I ill-treated Malavika. Dharini is so what you can say, a very affectionate lady, a senior queen of the king, and she is, Kshamashila like Prithvi. So she wouldn't have troubled and tortured Malavika like this had she known about her identity as a Rajakanya. So she accuses me, she just asks Parivrajika, why did you keep quiet for all these days? And then she said, there was this prediction that she will have to serve 1 year, incognito sort of, in a dasya. And what a better place than your court. She is well taken care of, well protected, and she is, secure here, safe and secure. And therefore I kept quiet. So now everything is done, and then as a king, Agnimitra has to take decision now that Yajnasena and Madhavasena, two cousins, are fighting, right? Now he can't give that kingdom to one Madhavasena because he is Malavika's brother. So he divides the kingdom into two and makes them, one portion till Narmada, one would rule, one portion till Varada, other person would rule, and there we have the reference of river Varada and Narmada. That is Varada. So this is Dvairajya Sankalpana. Dvairajya, one kingdom ruled by two people. So this is again a very ancient Sankalpana, Dvairajya Sankalpana. So that shows the ability of good governance of King Agnimitra as such. And then everything goes well, and then there is a Bharatavakya when King Agnimitra is ruling, Goptari Agnimitre, when there is Agnimitra as the Gopta, as the protector, what fear the people would have. So this is the Bharatavakya. So the queen offers her with veiled and all that, King is also happy, everybody else is happy, and queen, she tells Iravati also that because she is a Rajakanya, we have to agree to this Vivaha. I hope you don't mind me doing this. So she is so caring, you see. Very small details also are very minutely picturized and minutely taken care of by Kalidasa. So this is the entire drama. Now a similar story occurs in Brihat Katha. Okay, similar story occurs in Brihat Katha, and this is the story of Queen Bandhumati. But Brihat Katha as such, we don't have now. What we have, Gunadhyas Brihat Katha, are the recensions of Brihat Katha as Brihat Katha Manjari by Kshemendra or Katha Sarit Sagara by Somadeva. Right? And Somadeva definitely belonged to the 10th century CE, right? And therefore we cannot say that Kalidasa has borrowed this story from Katha Sarit Sagara or Brihat Katha. It should be the other way around. Perhaps while Kalidasa was there, maybe in the 2nd BCE or 1st BCE, he might have known the floating stories of Agnimitra and Malavika or some such, Bandhumati, some such story. Always there are in the society the floating mass of the stories. We don't know the Karta. They are anonymous, right? So maybe some such story existed during Kalidasa's time also, which was picked up by him, built up around that historical characters of Agnimitra. Sab masala andar Kalidas ka hai, but the structure is of historicity, okay? And the same thing has been taken over by Katha Sarit Sagara. Similar thing is taken over by Shri Harsha. His Priyadarshika is exactly modelled upon Malavika Agnimitra. Shri Harsha has written 3 dramas, like Kalidasa, 3 dramas, Ratnavali, Priyadarshika and Nagananda. And in those 3 dramas, Nagananda is the Buddhist background, the Jimuta Vahana and all, but Ratnavali and Priyadarshika are typical court comedies, like Malavika Agnimitram. So Harsha, Shri Harsha, 8th century, he has modelled his dramas on Malavika Agnimitra. So though this is the very first maiden drama by Kalidasa, it inspired many later poets and dramatists. So I think today we should stop here. I have given you a broad storyline with the historicity, with the sources, and because it is not based unlike the Bhasa's plays, which were based on the Mahabharata theme, and therefore we could discuss what are the deviations, right? Here we can't discuss that sort. So it is only historical framework, and all the inside masala has been put by Kalidasa through his imagination. There are scenes within the scene, for the enactment in Bharata's Natya Shastra. I'll tell you sometime, perhaps, how that Natya Shastra, Natya Mandapa was visualized, It had Rangapitha and Rangashirsha. Rangapitha is the one where, the actors who are playing the role on the stage, they are seen. Rangashirsha is a little, Shirsha, Mastaka, little higher position, an elevated platform, and sometimes, the Deva Ganas would appear to bless. They would come on that elevated platform there, So Rangashirsha, Mattavarani, which are like wings of today's theatre and all that. So he has taken an utmost care of this bifocal and trifocal scenes. You have a scene, like Bakulavalika and Malavika, they are conversing under the Ashoka tree, okay? So they are there. another place. Here Agnimitra and Vidushaka, they come and they see. And the third scene is Iravati and her maid servant Nipunika, trifocal scene on the same stage. What a marvelous thing to look at, So all these dramatic specialities are also taken care of by Kalidasa. So with this, I stop today, and from next class, next Sunday, we'll start reading the Nandi Shloka. That itself will take at least half an hour or so. Very beautiful Nandi verse by Kalidasa. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. See you next Sunday. Till then, Hari Om.